I really hope this game delivers. Like, how fun will it be to have an awesome Avengers game that we can play with other people and really keep playing or return to very frequently. I was not extremely convinced after seeing the stream. Like, it was weird that they chose to show a level that wasn't really that exciting, with just one platform and the same enemies spawning in. Although other info during this War Table stream was more exciting, and I really liked seeing a ton of different enemy types. And I was actually able to interview the developers right after that stream, and what they all said sounded very promising. IGN also did a hands-on recently and came away optimistic. I really think the beta for this game will be super important, so we get an idea of how everything plays and comes together. And in this video I want to share a ton of new info that I learned from that interview, and of course after watching the War Table stream and from a recent AMA they did on Reddit. Let's just say that I'm now cautiously optimistic. I really want this game to be great. So let's get into it. A like on the video would be super appreciated, and let's go. You can win Marvel's Avengers in my special June giveaway for a 2020 game of your choice on your platform of choice. You can find the link to participate in the pinned comment, and you have to be a subscriber of the channel as well if you want to win. And I will reach out to the winner via the mail in early July. So we finally got a better idea of what the story in this game will be about, and actually learned that MODOK will be the main villain of the single player campaign. Both he and Kamala were hit by the blast at A-Day, and while MODOK almost died, Kamala gained these awesome superpowers. And then in the single player campaign we mostly follow Ms. Marvel as she tries to recruit the Avengers again, who disbanded after the events of A-Day. But we also saw the big Warzone missions that actually sound way cooler than what they showed during the War Table stream. The first question I asked was about the overall structure of the game, like how will it progress, and I got a pretty good overview. Like, the first thing I learned is that they advise us to play the campaign first before we jump into the Warzone multiplayer. So the smartest thing you can do is recruit all the heroes with Ms. Marvel first, and then you also unlock hero missions that tell stories of what the heroes have been up to in the last 5 years since A-Day. We should see them as side missions that you can do at any point, and by completing them you unlock some cool unique rewards just for that hero. But yeah, if you immediately want to jump into the Warzone multiplayer without finishing the campaign, then that should be possible. Like, maybe you first have to play A-Day, I'm not sure, but overall they note that you can immediately jump into the war zones if that is what you want. But if you do that, then you will see a message that says, hey, spoilers for the story, continue at your own risk. But yeah, you can choose to ignore that and then immediately jump into the multiplayer, unlock many heroes already, and play with your friends immediately. But again, then you will miss a lot of context, like what is AIM up to and what is this evil corporation in the first place, because the story will advance post-game. So if you do not finish the story, you will likely have no clue what is going on. Another important reason to play the campaign is because there will be a ton of exclusive rewards that you can only get by playing the single player story. Like, many outfits and powerful gear can only be earned by playing through the single player campaign. Although I'm sure that if you skipped it the first time around and immediately went to the multiplayer, that you can always go back. And good to note is that there will be shared progression between the single player and the co-op part. So no matter where you use one particular hero, you will always improve it. And also interesting is that even during the single player campaign, there will be a few missions that will organically matchmake you with other people, likely to already give you a feeling of what it's like to play a Warzone mission. And we now learned that this 4-player activity can be played alone as well, but then your teammates will just be controlled by the AI. And you can actually pick the heroes that the AI will control, and they will be from your hero roster, so it will be the Thor that you leveled up, while you now choose to play Black Widow, for example. And you can actually also play with one friend and then have the other 2 heroes be AI teammates, so you are not forced to play with random people online if that is not what you want. The AI characters in your team will also gain XP, although they're still tuning like how much you get compared to the character that you control. But if you do want to play with other people online, then you can just form a party with your friends, or you can choose quick play and then just get into a war zone as soon as possible, and then the game will pick a hero that one team needs at the moment. But if you want to play and level up one particular hero, they can also choose to join with that character, and then you will just be joining a team who doesn't have that hero yet. Because you cannot have two of the same hero in one war zone. They were still kind of dodgy on if people from different levels can join each other and play with each other. Like, will my level 1 Thor be able to play with your level 50 Iron Man? Will that be balanced? Hopefully that's the case, but I did not get a firm answer on that. And as you expect, every hero should play completely different. IGN in their hands-on noticed this as well, that it was actually something they really liked. And heroes should be able to take on specific roles. So you of course have a base moveset with each hero, but you can then specialize that and focus, for example, on being a more offensive support or a defensive support. And what Vince, the combat director, noted, who also worked on God of War by the way, is that you can make a build around shrinking people, so that you're really focused on that. Or that you are focused on the heroic abilities. They once again touched on those in the War Table stream. We have 3 variants, the Assault one, the Ultimate one and the Supportive one. So you could use your gear and skills to make sure that you can do these abilities as often as possible, and they are very powerful. Like the skill trees and the gear actually looked pretty deep, and finding the right build should be necessary for some of the high-end content. Like there's way more to a war zone than I first anticipated after watching the stream. So instead of having one giant map, they wanted to do multiple war zones in different regions. Because AIM is a global threat, so it makes more sense to have multiple of these open areas in different places on Earth. And I think that's a great call, so we have way more variety, and we actually already saw quite a lot of different locations. So something that the War Table stream did not show is that the war zones are actually meant to be explored. With the D-pad you can see question marks in the level, and you can then go there before you hit the primary objective. And we saw some of these smaller objectives. I think they are called drop zones, with pretty simple tasks like destroy the inhuman cells or defeat all the enemies. I hope there are also like more interesting objectives here. And then after completing them, there might be like a big boss that shows up out of nowhere. But there's more. We also saw briefly mission chains, and those are, for example, for the factions. So you can help Maria rebuild the Shield faction. So then you do a ton of missions, collect resources, and then earn points toward that faction and can earn unique rewards. But there should also be a mission chain where at some point somebody finds a boss that you then have to take out. New war zones could also open up after finding something in a level. Like if you find hidden shield caches, then you get coordinates to a mission they call a vault, that has some very special loot and encounters that should be exclusive to this location. And even if you found the coordinates, then you can still like invite other people to help you clear this location. And there's more, like the amount of info that we got during this first War Table stream has been pretty insane. But it also feels like we still don't know everything that this game has to offer. Another more endgame activity are the hives, AIM strongholds located throughout the world, and the Avengers must uncover their location and fight their way through, and a gauntlet of increasingly challenging AIM defenses in order to disable them. And on Reddit, the Warzone director also notes that bosses and villains will make an appearance here, and that sounds great. And in his post, he also teases 2 other endgame pieces of content that he is not allowed to talk about just yet, but that they will likely show in an upcoming War Table stream. So that overall sounds like quite a lot of content at the launch of this game, something that is of course super important to keep us entertained. But the question of course is, how diverse will it be? Like they can call it something else, but if it just has to kill a ton of enemies like any other activity, then yeah, the appeal might not be everlasting. Again, the beta will be super important and I can't wait to try it out and see more, but in the meantime I already got some other Marvel's Avengers content coming your way, so totally subscribe if you haven't already to miss nothing and be up to date on this game. A like on the video would be super appreciated, and you can watch my live reaction of the War Table stream by clicking on the screen, or maybe another Avengers video that is already up. For now though, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.